Yeah. There's a place David ran to when the spirit was flying. Not a cave, not a crowd. A company. Because who you stand with slowly decides who you become.
I ran to the company of the prophets, fire in the circle, heaven in the process. Even kings start speaking different language. When the spirit falls, watch the atmosphere change. I ran to the company of the prophets, mantles in the room, you can feel the doctrine. Stay long enough, you won't leave the same. Company shapes you, rewrites your name.
Yeah, David on the run, saw wanted blood on the wall. Spear in his hand, but the promise stood tall. Could've hid in the cave, could've blended with fear, but he ran where the oil still dripped in the air. Samuel standing, prophets in the line, harps in their hands, tongues touched by fire divine. This wasn't noise, this was order and power. Heaven touching earth in a prophetic hour. When the 100 arrived, he didn't beg or complain. He just stood in the sound till the sound rearranged. But presence transfers what words never do. Yeah, you don't need a sermon when the spirit moves you. Hey,
I ran to the company of the prophets, fire in the circle, heaven in the process. Even kings start speaking different language. When the spirit falls, watch the atmosphere change. I ran to the company of the prophets, mantles in the room, you can feel the doctrine. Stay long enough, you won't leave the same. Company shapes you, rewrites your name.
Saul came chasing, still drunk on pride. Armor on the outside, chaos inside. Still wearing the crown, but the oil was gone. The throne without presence don't last too long. He stepped in the circle, mockery on his breath, but the spirit don't respect rank, title, or flesh. The anointing fell like rain on dry ground. Stripped his armor, laid his ego down. Same mouth that commanded armies to fight started speaking mysteries deep in the night. They said it's all among the prophets now. Yeah, company will make you bow.
I ran to the company of the prophets, fire in the circle, heaven in the process. Even kings start speaking different language. When the spirit falls, watch the atmosphere change. I ran to the company of the prophets, mantles in the room, you can feel the doctrine. Stay long enough, you won't leave the same. Company shapes you, rewrites your name.
Listen, you don't rise by accident, you're discipled by proximity. Hang with the carnal long enough, it kills sensitivity. But iron sharpens iron in the secret place. Destiny responds when it hears its native language. You talk like who you walk with, dream like who you sit with. Faith grows legs when you move with the remnant. That's why David learned order before the throne. Before the palace he learned presence at home. The harp tuned his heart before the crown hit his head. Because alignment precedes authority, that's what Samuel said. Stay
in the sound. Stay where heaven comes down. Stay long enough, you'll feel the shift. What chase you can't survive in this.
Some of you wondering why growth feels slow. Check the voices you've been letting close. If your circle feeds fear, doubt, and compromise, don't be shocked when vision dies, but put fire next to fire, watch it blaze. Put faith next to faith, watch mountains shake. I'm not perfect, but I chose my seat. I sit with prophets, not with scoffers on the street. Because oil recognizes oil when it pours, and calling wakes up when it hears his own.
I ran to the company of the prophets, fire in the circle, heaven in the process. Even kings start speaking different language. When the spirit falls, watch the atmosphere change. I ran to the company of the prophets, mantles in the room, you can feel the doctrine. Stay long enough, you won't leave the same. Company shapes you, rewrites your name.
David ran and became a king. Saul came and still missed the throne. Same presence, different hearts. Because company can introduce you to power, but staying decides who you become.
Yeah. This is not entertainment. This is consecration. A company, not a crowd. Eyes burning, knees bowed. Welcome to the company of the prophets.
Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. We stand in the gap, never leaving our place. Heaven's agenda written on our face. Company of prophets set apart by grace. Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. We hear what God says, then we run the race. Not loud in the flesh, but we shake the place. Company of prophets, chosen, not replaced.
Not raised by trends, we're formed in a secret. All on our heads, but first came the weeping. We learned obedience when nobody seen it. Before the platform, there was floor and repentance. Sons of the altar, not slaves of applause. We fear God deeply, so we fear no laws. Burning like Jeremiah, measuring the bones. Try to be quiet, but the word overthrown.
We eat the scroll, sweet and bitter taste. Truth cuts deep, but it keeps us in grace. Not fortune tellers, we carry his heart. We speak what he shows, even when it's hard.
Eagles in vision, lambs in submission. Roaring in spirit, but broken position. If heaven is silent, we wait and we fast. If heaven is speaking, we don't hold it back.
Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. We don't run ahead, we don't lag in pace. Heaven's frequency, tuned by the place. Company of prophets living face to face. Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace.
We see the throne before we see the stage. Marked by the Lord, sealed by his name. Company of prophets, never the same.
Yeah, we saw the throne before we touched the mic. Isaac and moments change our sight. Call on the lips, now the words ignite. Purify speech, no mixture in sight. We don't chase crowds, we call generations. We read the times like sons of beasts, our nations. Standing in councils where secrets are given. It's sent back to earth with downloads from heaven. We carry burdens that don't make sense. Crying for cities we never been. Groaning and pray to the ground responds. Travailing for birth till the kingdom comes. Elijah, boldness, Elisha, double. Mandals fall when pride is rubble. If it costs our comfort, we still obey. Because delayed obedience is disobedience anyway. From the caves to the courts, from the floor to the flame, from the whisper of God, to the shaking of nations.
We wait, we watch, we war in prayer. We speak, we stand because he was there.
Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. We burn for the Lord, not the praise of men. Marked by the glory, sealed in this place. Company of prophets, now and then. Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. We bow in the secret, we rise with a voice. Chosen by mercy, not chance or race. Company of prophets, heaven's choice.
We don't speak vibes, we declare decrees. What we bind on lines with the seas. Heaven backs words that were born in prayer. That's why demons react when we enter the air. We've been with God, you can tell by the way. Glory residue, heavy on faith. When we say thus saved, it's not cliches. Cause we stood there and heard him say. End time watchmen, oil in reserve, not sleeping on duty. We know our work. Midnight cry with lamp still lit. Trim with truth, we won't forfeit. If they mock us now, they'll remember later. Every rejected prophet becomes a sign maker. We don't need credit, the scroll is sealed. Heaven keeps record of what we reveal. Yeah. Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. We live from the altar, not the popular space. Formed in the presence, sent to the nations. Company of prophets, holy generation. No, eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. Until every kingdom bows to his name. We burn, we bow, we run our race. Company of prophets called, chosen, faithful. Company.
Yeah. This is not a crowd. This is a company. Mantles in the air. Eyes lifted. Heaven in motion.
Eyes on the chariot.
Fire in my sight.
Company of prophets.
We don't walk by night.
Mantles are falling.
Heaven is near.
If you're watching the flames,
You never fear.
eyes on the chariot.
Wheels full of fire.
Word in
Came out the wilderness, dust on my knees. Voice of the word still ringing in me. Not trained by the world, schooled in the fire. Sat where Elijah burned with desire. This ain't religion, this is succession. Mental transfer, holy aggression. Gilgal moments, Bethel decisions. Jordan parting when obedience is riches. They said stay here, but I couldn't remain. When the chariot calls, you don't entertain. Flesh wants comfort, spirit wants flame. I'd rather lose all than miss his name. Scrolls in the heavens, my name got ink. Watchmen don't sleep, we stand on the brink. This generation don't need applause. We need men who tremble at heaven's laws. Eyes on the chariot, don't blink now. If you look back once, you'll miss it now. Eyes on the chariot, stay aligned where heaven releases. Aim for the blind. Eyes on the chariot, don't look low. What falls from above won't touch the slow. Eyes on the chariot, this is the sign. The fire only lands on prepared minds. Company talk, not solo vibes. This is sons who discern the times. Iron sharpens, voices agree. When prophets gather, realms must flee. We read the skies, not trending charts. We trace God's voice through beating hearts. When kings are confused, prophets see. Cause revelation bows to purity. Still waters, nah, we cross the flood. Power don't move till faith draws blood. Tarrying rooms, broken pride. That's where mantles multiply. I saw wheels turn with eyes all around. Heaven don't move on common ground. You gotta die to be carried high. Elijah flew cause he learned goodbye.
Eyes on the chariot,
Fire in the sky.
if I see it clear, I'll never die. What I behold is what I become. I see the fire, so the fire comes. Eyes on the chariot, heaven's speed. This ain't hype, this is prophecy. If you want the double, pay the cost. Stay till the end, no matter the loss.
Mantra falling, fire calling, Jordan splitting, heaven listening. Stay awake, stay aligned. What you see defines your assignment. I don't envy thrones, I honor oil. I've seen crowns fail, but mantles spoil. Systems shake when prophets rise, because truth don't negotiate lies. We speak rain before the cloud, speak fire before the sound. Unleash your faith, steady gaze, eyes locked in the final phase. No distraction, no delay. If heaven moves, I move that way. I didn't come just to survive, I came to prove God's word alive. From the cave to the nation's door, same fire, just louder roar. When prophets speak, time bends, history buys. Eyes on the chariot, this is the call. Not everyone sees when the fire falls. Eyes on the chariot, stand and see. The glory prepared was meant for me.
Eyes on the chariot,
Lift your sight.
what heaven reveals empowers the fight. Company of prophets, rise and ride. The fire is moving, we're going with.
Not the crowd, not the noise, just the fire. And the ones who kept their eyes on it.
Yeah. This ain't a solo flame. This is a gathering fire. Ancient paths, living breath. The company of the prophets. Fire in the circle, heaven in motion. Ancient oil dripping, fresh devotion. When prophets gather, the veil get thinner. Word turn flesh, and the fire get louder. Fire in the circle, can you feel the quake? Altars awaken, chains start to break. We don't speak opinions, we echo the throne. Company of prophets, never stand alone. Yeah. I stepped in the circle where the flames converse, where silence preaches louder than the verse. Mantles in the room, you can smell the oil. Generational groans in the sound of the soil. Not chasing a mic, we chasing his face. Eyes full of fire, knees full of grace. Samuel nights, a lot gone quiet. God still calling when the system denied. They said calm down, but the bones kept shaking. Jeremiah fire, I tried forsaking, but it burned my chest, couldn't hold it in. When heaven lows truth, you gotta let it in. Yeah, we read the times like it's just sons. Knowing when to move, when the war is won. This ain't hype, this is sight from above. Prophetic accuracy, baptized in love.
Fire in the circle, heaven in motion. Ancient hold dripping, fresh devotion. When prophets gather, the veil get thinner. Word turn flesh, and the fire get louder. Fire in the circle,
Can you feel the quake?
altars awaken.
Chains start to break.
We don't speak opinions,
We echo the throne.
company of prophets.
Never stand alone. Yeah. Company talk, no competition here. One fire, many flames, one voice made clear. Elijah's spirit, but Elisha's sight. Double portion faith for the come and fight. We don't borrow wicks from the coach's mouth. We speak what we hear from the farther south. From the depths of God, where mysteries sleep, where secrets are given to those who weak. Yeah. Watchmen awake on the walls at night. Intercession dripping, the dawn meets light. When prophets agree, atmospheres bend, cities feel God. When the knees all descend, I'd entertain as we altar men and smell like oil, feet scarred from them. We prophesy hope where grace been sealed. Speak life to the dead, things healed. Start the fire in a circle, let it rise. When the prophets speak, heaven replies. Fire in a circle, no smoke or power. Glory by the minute, revival by the hour. Fire in a circle, one sound, one breath. Life in our tongues, terror to death. Company of prophets called and known. When we stand together, the throne comes close. I seen fire fall without a stage light. Just broken hearts and prayers all night. No fame, no name, just hearing my. And God stepped down when the self-life died. We prophesy Christ, not personal gain. Crossing our message, blood in the frame. The testimony of Jesus' prophecy. So every line point back to Calvary. We speak to kings, but we bow to none except to the Lamb, yeah, the risen one. From caves to courts, from tears to crowns, the word still works when the world shuts down. This is not a moment, it's a lineage. Ancient wells,
Fresh spillage,
what fell on them now rests
on us. Tongues of fire, we can't hush.
Let the fire mark us, let the fire send us. Not just to speak, but to live it. From secret places to public squares, we carry the flame, we carry the care. If he said it once, he'll say it again. He's raising prophets in the midst of men. Yeah. Fire in the circle, heaven invading, earth responding to what God is saying. When prophets gather, history bends, whole wells open, new eras begin. New fire in the circle, lift your voice. This is the sound of the chosen rejoice. Company of prophets sealed and known. We speak from the fire, straight from the throne. This is not a trend. This is a return. Find your place in the circle and let the fire speak.
Yeah, this ain't just a journey, it's a calling. From the place of rolling away to the house of God. If you know, you know. Company of the prophets, walk with me. From Gilgal to Bethel, I won't turn back, no way. Stone roll away, I'm stepping in faith. Company of the prophets, hear what heaven say. If you see me taking, you can have this faith. From Gilgal to Bethel, fire in my breath, mantle on my life, I'm running with the best. Company of the prophets, we don't walk by flesh, eyes on the chariot, we ain't scared of death. Started at Gilgal where the old me died. Circumcision of the heart cut deep inside. Stone of reproach roll far from my name. Past can't hold me hostage, I've been changed. Gilgal nights, altar soaked in tears. Grinding in the word while they sleep for years. Can't follow God with yesterday's skin. New wine life, gotta live within. They try to stop me, said stay here, relax. But hunger too loud, I can't go back if Elijah moving. I'm on his side, I'd rather walk unknown than live denied. From Gilgal to Bethel, I won't turn back, no way. I'm all the way, I'm stepping in faith. Company of the prophets, hear what heaven say. If you see me taking, you can have this flame. From Gilgal to Bethel, fire in my breath, mantle on my life. Man, we at Prophetic, yeah, the house of God. Open heaven visions, angels up and down. Ladder in my spirit, I don't see the ground. What you call a dream, I call it now. Bethel taught me presence over platform. Oil flows heavy when the heart is warm. I don't chase crowds, I chase his face. One word from God can shift the whole place. They said, do you know your masters? Leave it today. Yeah, I know, but my eyes gonna stay. I'm not distracted by the noise they make. I'm watching closely for the mantle break. From Gilgal to Bethel, step by step, no shortcuts, no crowns, without the test. Company of the prophets, this that remnant sound, still kneeling low while the fire comes down. From Gilgal to Bethel, mark my name, I didn't leave the same, I didn't come for fame. Company of the prophets, heaven knows my walk, I don't just rap this life, I live what I talk. We the company, not the crowd, few chosen voices loud in the cloud. We don't echo trends, we echo truth. Ancient paths, yeah, that's the proof. Some want the power, skip the pain, but mantles fall where there's restraint. Stay when others shows, comfort souls. Now the oil speaks, louder than phones. I saw the fire before it showed. Private altars, secret roads. When the chariots split the sky, only those who watch caught the crowd.
Stay here now, I'm going further, stay here. Now there's more to encounter. If I see it, I receive it. If it falls, I will carry it. Stay here, now pressing in, eyes wide open, heart within. From glory to glory, line by line, this mantle move is a bloodline sign. From Gilgal to Bethel,
not everyone can walk this road. Not everyone can see it. But if you stay, if you watch, if you follow, the mantle will find you.
Coming of the prophets.
Oh, Gilgal.
Together.
Yeah. Not self-made, not self-sin. Raised in the chambers of fire. This ain't noise, this is inheritance. The company of the prophets, sons of the spirit. Trained too long.
Yeah, we the company of the prophets, forging the flame, sons of the spirit, trained too long, can't be the same. Oil on the mantle, word in the bone. When heaven speaks, we echo the throne. We the company of the prophets, hidden and shown. Seasoned in silence, now the thunder is grown. Raised by the spirit, not the hype of the crowd. Trained too long, now we speak it out loud. Yeah, cave of Adullam, prophets in training. Not chasing stages, we embracing the proning. Years in the shadows, oil still dripping. Every closed door was God's hand repositioning. Sat at the feet where the word cut deep. Ezekiel bones, but we learned how to breathe. Scroll in the mouth, tasted bitter and sweet. Now our bars carry weight when we speak in the beat. Not overnight, nah, this took seasons. Wrestled with God till the scars had meaning. Tongue like a sword, heart like a priest. I don't just rap, I decree and release. They wanted trends, we wanted truth. So God hit us long, just to make us proof. When the fire falls, you gon' know the sound. Cause trained prophets don't miss the ground.
Who are we? The company.
What raised us?
The spirit.
How we speak.
Great authority.
Trained too long, now we deliver.
Who are we? The company.
What burns?
Holy fire.
When we move.
Heaven listens.
Sons of the spirit.
Kingdom riders.
School of the prophets, no tuition paid. cost was obedience, tears and faith. Elijah's mantle, Elisha's hunger, double portion flow when the ego's under. We learn timing, not just power. Learn how to wait in the midnight hour. Every delay was a coded instruction. Every rejection built prophetic function. Not just to see, but interpret the sight. Not just a dream, but walk in the light. Intercessors with a rapper's breath. Bars so alive, they resurrect the dead. I pop a sign over drums and snares. Heaven backing every word I declare. This ain't performance, this is alignment. The beat isn't altar, the mic is assignment. We were trained in the fire, trained in the word, trained in the stillness where God is heard. Trained in the valley, trained in the storm. That's why sound carries kingdom form. Company of the prophets, stand up now. Sons of the spirit, let the word come out. To refine the foe, to test the bow. We've been trained too long, this is payoff now. Company of the prophets, hear the call. When we release it, strongholds fall. From the prayer room, straight to the sound. What was hidden in caves is shaking the ground. Now we outside, but we still consecrated. Public platform, but the oil still gated. Fame can't buy what the fire imparted. We were broken in places the crowd never started. I seen heaven open, heard ghosts speak. Now cities respond when the spirit breathes. Prophetic cadence, apostolic drive. When we touch the mic, the five on the ride. This for the ones who stayed when it hurt, who chose prayer floors over designer shirts. When God said wait, you ain't moving inch. Now you release one word and the system flinch. Not sons of men, we sons of breath. Born from the wind, that conquers death. If you hear this sound, you part of the call. The company rising, prophets and all.
We the company of the prophets, sons of the spirit, trained too long. We the company of the prophets, now the silence is gone.
Yeah, this is not entertainment. This is alignment, not a stage, a wall. We are the watchmen. We are the company of the prophets. Watchmen don't sleep. We stand on the brink. Eyes on the throne, not led by what we think. Fire in our bones, heaven's ink on our lips. Company of prophets, yeah, we stand on the brink. Watchmen don't sleep. We stand on the brink. Sword in the word, every line let it sink. If the trumpet don't sound, blood's on the street, so we cry aloud. Yeah, we stand on the brink. Raised on the wall, not moved by applause. We saw the storm before it touched the shores. Night vision burden heavy on the chest. He said, son of man, I couldn't rest. We eat the scrolls, sweet and bitter taste. Truth cuts deep, no time to waste. Not chasing crowns, we carry the weight. Interceding while the world celebrates. They say relax, but the clock still ticks. Days of Noah, people building their ships, while heaven records every word that we speak. If we keep quiet, stones start to preach. Oil in the lamp, trimmed in the dark. We don't get seasons, we read the marks. Standing between the living and dead, crying ripped in till the ground turns red. Don't sleep, we stand on the brink. Eyes on the throne, not led by what we think. Fire in our bones, heaven's ink on our lips. Company of prophets, yeah, we stand on the brink. Watchmen don't sleep, we stand on the brink. Sword in the word, every line let it sink. If the trumpet don't sound, blood's on the street, so we cry aloud. Yeah, we stand on the brink. Company of prophets, not one man strong. Sons of the spirit, trained too long. From Gilgal Pass to the Jordan line. Main throughs fall when the times align. We don't prophesy comfort, we prophesy truth. Even when it offends the kings in the room. Elijah fire with Elijah's sight. Double portion for the coming fight. We saw famine before it hit the land. Saw the shaking when they said we're fine. Heaven whispers, earthquakes respond. When the watchmen rise in one accord. Not drunk on culture, not numb to sin. We feel the groaning deep within. Birth pain shaking the global stage. We speak deliverance, not just rage. On the wall, day and night, no silence, till he makes Zion his delight. On the wall, day and night, no rest, till the king steps in our sight. Watchmen don't sleep, we stand on the brink. Heaven's alarms in the way that
the brink.
We don't clock out when the night gets long. Midnight cries keep the remnant strong. Tears in prayer, knees on floors. Wars won quietly behind closed doors. Angels move when we decree. Earth responds to what heaven sees. Not trending, but we're sent and sealed. Foreheads marked, fields revealed. We see revivals and we see the fall. We warn the house, we love them all. If they hear, their blood is clean. If they refuse, we still speak. This is legacy, not a moment wave. Voices forged in a secret place. We son of man comes suddenly. Will he find faith? He'll find me. I was set as a watchman, not to be liked, but to be faithful. I saw it coming, and I spoke.
Watchmen don't sleep, we stand on the brink. Eyes on the throne, eternity in our blink. Fire in our bones, heaven's ink on our lips. Company of prophets,
We stand on the brink. Watchmen don't sleep. We stand on the brink till the lion roars and the kingdom sink. From door to tunnel on, hear the remnant speak. We stand, we warn. We stand on the brink. This is the company. This is the wall. This is the sound before the trumpet. Watchmen, arise.
Yeah. This ain't church as usual. This is mantle talk. Scroll leaders, watchmen. Sweet in the mouth, bitter in the belly. Welcome to the company of the prophets.
We eat the scroll, sweet and bitter. Honey on the lips, but it cuts us deeper. Call from the fire, forging the word. Company of prophets, we speak what we heard. We eat the scroll, yeah, we carry the load. Tears in the night, but the morning explodes. If he said speak, we don't alter the code. Company of prophets, we eat the scroll.
Call before crowds, before stages and lights. In a secret place, wrestling angels at night. Word came heavy, I was young but aware. If I eat this truth, I can't live light or spare. Scroll opened up, revelation tight. John on Patmos, no applause in sight. Sweet like honey when it touched my tongue, but my belly shook when the truth begun. Cause prophecy ain't always blessing and gain. Sometimes it's judgment, famine and pain. Sometimes you cry what the people won't hear. Sometimes you preach while they mock and sneer. They want the promise, but not the warning. They want the crown, but reject the morning. But fire in my bones, I can't hold it in. If I don't speak now, it's counted as sin.
Oh, sweet and bitter. Honey on the lips, but it cuts us deeper. Call from the fire, forging the word. Company of prophets, we speak what we heard. We eat the scroll, yeah, we carry the load. Tears in the night, but the morning explodes. If he said speak, we don't alter the code. Company of prophets, we eat the scroll.
School of the prophets, Gilgal to Bethel. Not chasing fame, we're escaping the spell. Elijah's mantle, Jordan split wide. Crossed by obedience, not by our pride. Micaiah stood when 400 lied. One true word is worth more than the crowd on your side. Jeremiah wept cause the truth was rough. They wanted peace talks, God said enough. Scroll in the mouth, truth in the gut. You smile while preaching, but your spirit is cut. They say, tone it down, make it more light. But I saw the altar, burning all night. This is watchman work, blood on the wall. If I don't warn you, your blood's on my call. So I prophesy life, I rebuke the decay. Even when it costs me, come for the grace.
Scroll, sweet and bitter. Honey on the lips, but it cuts us deeper. Fire in our bones, we can't stay cold. Company of prophets, daring and bold. We eat the scroll, yeah, we carry the load. Not for applause, but to finish the road. If heaven wrote it, we echo the code. Company of prophets, we eat the scroll.
Not innovational, this is conversational. Kingdom language, not denominational. A voice crying loud in a compromised age. Eating pure truth, no edits, no shade. Ezekiel saw wheels, eyes everywhere. That's perception sharp, that's prophetic glare. We see what's hidden, systems exposed. We call dry bones back to flesh and a soul. Scroll made me heavy, made me misunderstood. Family said chill, but God said good. Cause bitterness means you felt the weight. You touched God's burden, you tasted his ache. This ain't for clout, this is crucified talk. Cross before crown, narrow is the walk. But after the bitterness, resurrection voice. Lion of Judah,
fire roars through the noise.
Even if they don't cheer, we will stand. Even when truth isn't clear, we will lead whatever he gives.
We will prophesy as long as we live. We eat the scroll, sweet and bitter, marked by the word, branded forever from secret place by the public roll. Company of prophets carry God's law. We eat the scroll, heaven's diet of law. Not bread and applause, but a throne made throne. If God said speak, we release it bold. Company of prophets,
We eat the scroll.
Sweet in the mouth, bitter in the belly, but necessary for the nations. This is the company of the prophets.
we eat the scroll.